I know that you've spent a lot of time, long hours, working on the topic of education, Christian education in particular, and I think being involved with the library is also a parallel to that. But what does Oklahoma need to do in terms of education to make sure that all this money we pour into education has an effect?
Well, this is one of the key issues for me, and one of the watershed issues that I'm going to go to the Capitol and take care of. I really think we have a great opportunity at this time that we've had at no other time in our history. The public seems to know that we're not getting the job done in public education.
Spending more money, test results are down.
Oh, it's a sinking hole, Charlie. It really is. We have a legislator now that is getting the message, I think, from parents, too, that we're not doing the job for our kids.
In fact, also I want to mention on the November ballot, the OEA has managed to get a statewide vote on an amendment that would trigger an automatic funding mechanism that would, apart from the legislature, would force more money into the system, and I oppose that, and
yes,
and I hope
absolutely.
everybody else will vote no on that. That's not KCFO. That's the Charley Biggs talking. But
well, I remember when I was getting my MBA, Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations, used to say, and one of his things was, if you read that book, it states that consumers of federal government or state government should pay in proportion to the benefit they receive. That's what sound tax policy is. And we have been pouring money into education for so many years and getting nothing out of it. And there's several things that we can do. And as soon as I get up there, that's one of the things that I believe we need to focus on. First of all, you talked about this earlier, Charlie, and rightfully so. We need to get the federal government out of funding Oklahoma's public education. The federal government, for fact of the matter, is only 7%, giving 7% of the cost of primary and secondary education. And the cost of the administrative expenses, the unrealistic mandates that they impose on Oklahomans, and the rules and the programs that are so oppressive are higher than the money we're receiving. So that's a no-brainer.
Right.
And, we have another great opportunity here. We continue to divert taxpayer money that should be going to our roads and other vital state needs because we have had this bureaucratic agency at the state level for many years. Now, many good things have gone on, but we have an opportunity to elect a new state superintendent of schools.
It's an open seat.
Yes. And when you have somebody in there, now Sandy Carrot has served 5 terms. That's 20 years to you and me. And then before that, even with Bellman's administration, she was on a cabinet position as Secretary of Education. So 24 years we've had the same administration.
By the way, another issue that will be on the November ballot this year would be term limits for statewide elected offices, and the state school superintendent is one of those offices.
Absolutely. And,
vote yes on that.
We definitely will. You have to look at that when you have somebody in there almost a quarter of a century. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I understand that when you have decades of bad test scores and runaway spending, that's all you've gotten. And in Oklahoma, Charlie, 51% of our money that we pay into education goes to administration and only 37% to teachers. There's something wrong with that formula. We're 47th in the nation spending money on students and teachers, yet we're 22nd in the country on total expenditures. That is a skewed financial report. And the worst part about everything is 29% of almost all Oklahoma high school students are dropouts.
So you want to go to the legislature just because you want to become a career politician and lead a higher office? Is that your scheme?
Absolutely not. Citizen. You ask at the beginning of the program, why would somebody be so crazy to do this? And there's sacrifices that have to be made, obviously with my business and my family, but we've got to do something at this time in history. Ezekiel 22 talks about this, standing in the gap and having men and women stand in the gap. And we have got to return this nation and this state back to our biblical foundations and to our value systems that have made this state great. one of the things in education that I'm going to be standing up for is more charter schools. I know your kid attends a charter school here, but if you look at the system across the state of Oklahoma, Tulsa has 3 charter schools. Out of the 18 charter schools, Oklahoma City has 15 of them.
Right.
So why aren't we doing more with that? Because really competition is the answer, Charlie. It breeds success.
And parental choice. There should be options, because if a school is not cutting it, then the families that are sending their kids there should have some recourse.
Yes, and the great thing about charter schools is you have 3 to 5 year goals there. After 5 years, your charter is revoked if you don't hit it. We don't have that in the public school system. There is no accountability, and it really allows minority and poor students to get a quality education that their demographics would prevent. So I'm in favor of that.
Well, we just have a few minutes left. Let me tell people again, I assume, since you're a Republican and conservative, that you could probably use some campaign donations. And if people want to volunteer to help you, how would they contact you?
Absolutely. Get on the website at www.brumbaugh4house.com, and that's the number 4. Or you can give me a call at 918-833-1300.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
918-833-1300. We will appreciate your donations and support, and we have a lot of volunteers that are really anxious about what we're going to be able to do for state government.
As a Christian, I think that God compels us to go into every profession and every part of our society and be salt and light. And I appreciate your stepping forward on this. And as I've gotten to know you too, I am so appreciative of your willingness to make this sacrifice. This is Christian Talk Radio too, and until the federal government comes down and says we can't talk about Jesus anymore, give us a final comment.
Well, I truly believe as Christians we have sat back too long. We throw our shoes at Fox News at night, and we really don't stand for what God tells us in 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven and forgive their sin and will heal their land. We need to heal our land, and we need good men and women to go up and stand in the gap and stand for our Christian values and for our Constitution at the state level, the federal government level, and local level. And I appreciate your support in my effort to do that.
We've been talking with David Brumbaugh, a local businessman that's decided to run for the Republican nomination for District 76 in Broken Arrow. What's the boundaries of that?
Our south boundaries are 110th Street. Our north, we go as far north as to 61st Street. West, we go as far as Garnett, and east to 161st. So it's a pretty compact district, but great people.
Well, David, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate your testimony and best wishes in your campaign.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie, and thank you for what the Tulsa Beacon does. You're really Tulsa's only family newspaper, and you're standing up for families in Oklahoma.
Well, checks in the mail.
Okay.